Good morning. Welcome to Friday Fellowship. And it is good to see y'all today. Clearly, it is Friday. And normally, Jennifer is here with me. But she is not here right now. She might be coming in. You just don't know. However, right this moment, she's not. But it is Friday, and it is our weekly broadcast on usually a topic that has something to do with emotions or the mind, spirit, soul, body, that kind of thing. But I've had something going on in my mind for a while. I've been chewing on it, and it is called being in tension, Tension, or having intention, Intention. And what those look like. You are welcome to either tag a friend or share this with someone while we're live so that others can partake of the goodness and sometimes the hilarity. Anyhow, I would like to give it a couple of minutes before I start talking about being in tension or having intention. Philip, I just saw you come on. Listen, bless you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. 53 years is a long time. God bless you. God bless you. That is absolutely amazing. I applaud you and I commend you. Shoot, people have trouble just being married a few years, much less more than half a lifetime. Good morning, Janie. I'm glad to see your voice. Hello, Jennifer. Man, I'd love to bring you on camera. I wonder if it's possible. You want me to try? Are you available to go on camera, Jen? You want to comment and tell me yes or no? I won't bring you on if you're not able. But that'd be fun if we could. You know me, ready in and out. On the fly. Friday Fellowship. Friday Fellowship. We are going to have Friday Fellowship at our house this month sometime. Gosh, we're already halfway into the month, aren't we? We're trying to have once a month. Just have people over and we can do the broadcast together and that kind of thing. It's fun. You know, community is important, and not everybody has community, and sometimes you have to make your own community. Sometimes that's just what life brings us, and we get to choose how we're going to respond in the circumstances we're in, and that's a whole other topic, really, but you can either be in a pity party or you can be at peace and pick up the pieces where you are and create your own community. And so I just know that those are our options, and we would still like to have something at our house, and we will. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Bless you guys. Today's topic is being in tension, Intention, or having intention, Intention. And I did a little word search just for fun. I mean, I know what it feels like to be in tension, believe me. But I thought, let's just make it legal and talk about some of these things. So for tension, Tension, it means the state of being stretched. Well, you think? Yes. Good morning, Chris. Good to see you. Also, I'm hungry. Cinnamon. Also a synonym. Tightness, tautness, tenseness, rigidity, pull, traction, stress, strain. Those are other words for tension. Mental or emotional strain, anxiety and anxiousness, pressure, worry. These are also words for tension. These are words for tension. Apply a force to something which tends to stretch it. Stiffen, brace. And an example is working to meet an established deadline. This can bring tension, tension. We've all experienced the need to meet a deadline. Goals are important, and deadlines help some people really, truly be able to move forward. Some people cannot move forward without a deadline. Some people need the pressure. My husband works phenomenally in a deadline-oriented environment. He shines and he just rocks and rolls. And that is why he's able to do the job he does, because he does respond well under that kind of pressure. Pulling the two ends of a rubber band further and further apart from each other. Oh my gosh. Have you ever done that when you were a kid? You pull the rubber band apart and you're just so afraid it's going to snap back and either hit you in the eye or hit somebody else or something like that. And it's like, ah, no! And you want, or it's going to break and you're going to go whap. Oh my gosh. Tension, tension, tension. How about this tension? The awkward feeling between two friends after a big fight. Hello, Cherie. Good to see you. The awkward feeling between two friends after a big fight. That is also tension. Mental and nervous strain, accompanied by muscular tautness. Strained relations, tension. Uneasiness due to mutual hostility, tension. A high tension cable, like a voltage. Tension. We all have tension. Sometimes we need tension. You know, it's interesting to me. Jennifer and I were in a wreck in November. Someone, a drunk driver, came out of nowhere. There was a witness to it. And slammed in us, probably going 45, 50 miles an hour. And we were catapulted forward. And we are thankful we're alive. But that brought some tension into our physical bodies, tension into our minds and emotions. It brought tension into the moment. And it was interesting how we both responded. So get this. Good morning, Carly. Get this, for that tension, that moment of tension where we were hit by a car. When I did come to a stop after being slammed, I stopped. When I was stopped, I looked at Jennifer and I looked at her and said, "Are you okay?" I looked at myself. I looked around myself very methodically with great intention. I looked and I said, "Okay, we're okay." I got out right that moment. I walked around my vehicle and looked at my vehicle to see, is my vehicle okay? Am I okay? Is my vehicle okay? Are we okay? Are we alive? Are we broken? Are we bleeding? What's the situation? And then I got back in my car and I drove around very intentionally to go back to the scene of the accident because we were too far away from the accident to even back to it. That's how far we were catapulted forward when we were slammed by the drunk driver. And so that brought tension. It brought strong tension into our physical bodies, into our minds, and of course into the situation. So we drive back around. Good morning, Sandy. So we drive back around to the scene of the actual accident where this gentleman is on the ground and he is bleeding at his forehead. And his airbags had gone off, and he definitely had experienced also some tension. So I'm standing there, and again, I'm taking in the situation. This is my intention. I'm looking at the situation, and I'm looking at who I need to talk to. There was someone there who was talking to a policeman, telling the policeman that the person who had hit had run from the scene. And I thought, wait, I'm the one, and I was the one who was hit. I didn't do the hitting. And so got that straight. They left. The policeman came. What I'm getting to is there was tension. So Jennifer, she immediately went into action, and she walked around the other vehicle to see what was going on. She went like this, and I went like this. She went bam, bam, bam. She's talking in Spanish. She's trying to figure some things out, and I'm just methodical. So she responded well in the tension, Tension. She responded well. We had a fire here at the house, a little fire on our gas stop a few weeks ago, and I didn't really notice it, to be honest. But she immediately stepped, woo, look at the fire. And man, she acted quickly. She handled that fire quickly. It was out and we were gone. Good morning, Maggie. And it was it. That was it. We were gone. And so, but I'm going, oh, there's a fire. Huh, yeah. And she quickly took it. So some people respond in tension, Tension, quickly with fast results. And me, I'm more like, if something happened, I'm like this. Okay, just a minute, let me get my purse. If there was a fire in the house, I go, let me get my purse, let me get the briefcase, and oh yeah, and I need to get that little envelope. I mean, I would literally think like that, because that is how I respond in strong, problematic tension. For whatever reason, I'm very intentional in the midst of tension. I rarely lose my cool. I'm not saying I haven't, but if I do lose my cool, usually it's on purpose. But normally I don't just fly off the handle. I don't know why that is, but I normally do not. My point today is about being in tension. Tension, the tension of life. The tension that you feel like you're a rubber band and you're being pulled apart and you think you're going to snap any minute. The tension of where you have a relationship with someone and it's very tight. You've had some kind of argument or something, and you're either experiencing some kind of breakup or you feel like you're going to go crazy. Tension. The emotional strain, the rigidity, the traction, the stiffness that comes. The stiffness that comes out of tension. What are we going to do in the midst when you are in tension? If you don't take on the intentionality, if you don't stop and go, wait, I need to have intention in the midst of this tension. Now, if you are I'm going to just give those few examples. If you are in the midst of, say, an emotional strain with someone, instead of flying off the handle, as Sandy just said, take a deep breath and take a moment and say, okay, how am I going to respond to this? Take a deep breath and take a moment, and with intention think, what do I do? How do I respond in this place of tension, so that you're not taken in by the tension, and so that you don't take on the emotions that come in the midst of tension? Because let me tell you something, emotions do fly and emotions do come on you, and frequencies of anger and stress and all sorts of things want to latch itself to you, so that you leave that situation not only messed up, but confused and having no idea where to go or what to do. But you can take the moment to have intention instead. If you have a moment where anxiousness wants to grab a hold of you, worry wants to take you out, listen, serious things are going on with people. Serious things. You girlfriend, okay, you need to take me with you when you do it. I'm just kidding. Actually, I need to talk to you, Maggie. You came to my mind a few days ago really strongly. and I need to text you and talk to you about something with intentionality. How's that? Anyhow, you're going to be intention, or you're going to have intentionality. So you have anxiousness that comes to you. You have a situation going on and you have no control over it. You have no control what's going to happen to you. You don't know what God's going to do. You don't know what the enemy's doing. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what they're doing. You're like, what the hey, what the hey, what the hey. If you'll stop and take a deep breath and say, no, I'm going to have intention. And my intention is to stay at peace. I'm going to pick up all these pieces of all these people, and I'm going to pick them all up and put them way over here, way far away from me, because I'm not picking up other people's pieces. I'm going to be in peace. I'm remaining in peace. My intention is to be in peace. These pieces aren't mine anyway. I'm keeping my peace. Instead of being anxious, instead of taking on the anxieties of the world, be at peace. Listen, that does not mean you walk away as if you don't have a dog in that fight. Because you know what? I hate that excuse. I don't have a dog in that fight. I don't care. And you let things happen that destroy people. No. You have the power of God living in you and through you. You take a moment, and instead of moving into that situation with tension, where you want to take it over, you want to control it, you want to overpower it, you want to stop it. No, have intention. And take a moment and say, God, what do I do? What can I do? What can I offer? What can I offer in this situation? How can I be you in this situation to help? It might be financial help. It might just be your presence to let two people duke it out. You know, some people just need to duke it out. If they need to duke it out, let them duke it out. Or you might be the person that stops two people from duking it out that might harm each other or harm themselves. So when you have tension, you can choose how to, with intention, step in to help or stand by as a presence and bring peace in the midst of other people's pieces. Intention. Okay, next idea with that. So if you feel like you're a rubber band and you're being pulled apart every way there is to be taken apart, you stop and consider, first of all, what's pulling you apart? Is there a situation pulling you apart? Are there emotions pulling you apart? Are people's opinions pulling you apart? Are your own thoughts pulling you apart and straining you so much that you feel like you are going to break, or you feel like you're going to split in two and become so divided you won't know who you are anymore? Listen, take a moment and have intention. Look at the situation with a deep breath and decide, okay, what am I going to do in this? And if you're listen, hear me. If you're a cracked rubber band, if you are so exhausted and so tired and feeling so desperately alone or in such a dark place that you just know if you're pulled any farther, you're going to break, listen, you stop. Take a deep breath and gather up your own pieces. Just with intention, say, no, I gather up all of this that's causing me to want to lose my mind. I'm gathering it all up. It might be because people are yelling and screaming at you. You might be in a situation at work where people or things are coming against you. You might have situations with doctors that are saying things about you that you refuse to come into agreement with, but the pressure's so on, you don't know what to do. There could be a situation at home with family members, or you just might have so many voices in your head, you think you're going to lose it. Listen, you stop, take a deep breath, and look, you may think this is crazy, and if so be it. Take a deep breath, lay on the floor, and just take a moment. Just breathe in and breathe out, and breathe in and breathe out with intention. Take that tension and move in with intention. Take some intention, some intentionality, and say, stop. I'm going to breathe in and I'm going to breathe out. I'm going to breathe in my peace and I'm going to release all these pieces. And with that intention so strongly inside of you, you get up and you go about your business. You get up and you go about your business. You don't cop out and not going to work. Listen, things are always going to happen to want to pull us off base. If you can't or don't or won't or refuse to have peace in the midst of tension, you're going to always want to run away. You're going to always want to just check out. And as long as you continue to avoid the tension without knowing how to move in the tension or through the tension with intention, then you'll never grow, you'll never mature, you'll never develop in that area, so that when it happens, you don't go to pieces. If you avoid the pieces at all cost, you'll never have peace in that area, because that area never gets touched. And listen, I work with people, and I know lots of people work with other people to help people get healed mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all these different ways. But and you think you're healed and whole, but you know what? You don't know how healed and whole you are until you face that situation again. You know, I had a situation a couple years ago where I literally walked into a dental office and my body started doing this. And I'm like, what the heck is going on with me? I started crying. I started shaking. My whole physical body went into some kind of trauma. I had no idea what it was, but I had to be looked at because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, and I was in severe pain. And I went through this several times, going to see several doctors with the same result, until I said, I got to figure out what this is. And I did see someone and find out what was the cause of all this tension in me that was making me think I was losing my mind, right? And once it was discovered, and once we worked through that trauma that was the actual cause of all that mess in me, and there was specific things, there were like 4 things that actually caused me to be doing that. I was triggered in some way. I'd fallen, I was triggered. Anyhow, my point is, I did not know how whole I was until I had to go to the dentist and get a bunch of work done in my mouth. And then I knew. And I'll be honest with you, when I went in, I was at peace. And when I laid in the chair, I was at peace. But when they started to do this, I'm like, whoop, stop, wait a minute. I think I need an algorithm, because I was peaceful enough until they went to touch me. And then I knew a technique to help my mind, to help my physical body chill out so that I could undergo what had to take place. And it was pretty strong. You get mercury taken out of your mouth. If you ever had that before, it's some pretty intentional work they do on you. And I needed to be prepared for that. Anyway, tension or intention. So with intention, I took authority over what was happening with me physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that I could undergo the tension that was going to come into me from getting the dental work done. Tension or intentionality. What will you do when you are faced with tension? Will you have intention in the midst of it? It could be that you have some financial situations that are so strong and you are looking for a way out. And you are looking so desperately, God, take me out and rescue me. But yet, and listen, sometimes God does. I've seen God do some miraculous things for people and miraculous things for me personally. And yes, that is true. However, in the midst of that, what if God's rescue mission is for you to have intention so you can hear and have a strategy and know how to address that tension so that it doesn't wig you out and doesn't cause you to be fearful. It doesn't cause you to avoid it any longer, because you confront it so that it's behind you and under your feet instead of in front of you, causing you to be shaking your shoes. Tension or intention. Maybe you have some things you have got to get handled. You have to get them handled, and you know you have to get them handled. And they're making you nuts in the midst of your mind, but guess what you keep doing? Listen, I know. Listen. Maybe you have something you truly have to get done, and you've been saying you needed to get done for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. But guess what? Every time you get some intention, something happens. You get a better offer. And so you avoid that, You avoid the mental tension, and with intention, you go do something else. And that area, that thing that you need to take care of continues to loom, continues to cause you to have tension on the inside of your mind because you aren't handling that tension with intention. I have a garage I need to get handled. Today, I'm going to play with my family. We're going to have some sister friend day, right? Now, we don't do this very often. And so I'm doing this with peace, not pieces, and I'm going to enjoy it, and we're going to have a good time, right? But I think that if I will plan some time to take care of that, a half day here, a half day there, a half day there, a half day there, then I can get that handled. But what I like to do is, hey, let's do it all. Let's do it all today. Let's spend 10 hours of sweat in the heat to get my garage finished. And I apply this tension inside of me that causes me to have pieces, causes my environment to be in pieces, causes people around me to be in pieces, because everything flies if I'm needing to get this done, when if I would plan it with peace, I could eliminate the tension of it needing to be done methodically instead of turning into a crisis where everybody else has to be in crisis because I'm in crisis. Hey, these are hard things. These are true things. So I want to challenge you today. Where's your tension? Are you avoiding it? Or are you confronting it? Are you a instrument of intention where you can take a deep breath and you can contribute? You can contribute either to yourself and cause yourself to have intention that brings peace, or you can respond to the tension and have everything go in pieces. When honestly, peace is our inheritance, not pieces. But if you continue to avoid all the pieces, all the days of your life, they'll always be in the back of your mind bothering you, always be in the back of the mind going after you because you don't take care of your business. You don't take responsibility over what God's given you to govern. And so those bills keep looming when maybe you need to get a part-time job for a short season, or you have a health situation that looms over you and you haven't told anybody, so you're not getting any kind of intentional prayer. You don't have anything helping you to walk that thing out with you. So you're handling all alone. So you have this strong tension inside of you and all these fearful thoughts coming after you when you perhaps need to just have a partner with you. And listen, your greatest partner inside here is who you first need. But then you need some trusted people to walk out life with you with PEACE so that the pieces don't steal, kill, and destroy you. Perhaps you have a situation where you need to do something with intention with your education, or you need to do something with your work. There's something you need to handle and it causes you tension. But if you would take a moment and bring some intentionality into that situation, make a plan that's flexible, because life happens, guys. Life happens. And the tension of life can tear you apart if you don't have intention when you live it. If you're just flying by the seat of your pants all the time, you're probably going to have a lot of situation and a lot of issues because you avoid having intention. You avoid having a plan. You avoid having some specific things that you and God can work out together, along with some community with intention. Intention. So listen, what is intention versus tension? We've covered tension, Tension. What is intention? An aim or a plan, a purpose, an objective, a goal, a target, an end, a design. deliberateness, calculation, the action or fact of intending, good intentions. Intention. I want to encourage you at this juncture. We're 6 months into our year. What do you want accomplished by the end of this year? Maybe there is something in your house like I have that I want to get finished. I might need some help with that. I might need to either exchange some work with someone or hire someone or just get some family to help me. But there's some things I need to get handled. But if I wait to do it till in November, then I'm probably not going to be very successful at having it done. But if I would do an hour a day, I would probably kick it out in a couple of months with intention, a plan. If you have, I don't have my book in front of me, but if you have some things in your life, that your mind, you know you need to get handled, write them down. Write them down. God always talked about writing down the vision. Well, you don't have to have a lifelong vision today, but why don't you come up with some short-term goals that you can accomplish with intention so that when the tension comes, you're not thrown apart and fall to pieces. Intention. So for me, I have some other things that are happening with my work, with my business, finances that need to be handled, some things that are coming down the pipeline, and I have intention right now, and I'm needing specific plans in order to accomplish those things. And that's not bringing tension, it's going to bring me a release of that kind of tension because I actually come up with a plan so that I can move in a specific direction with deliberateness. Does that mean that life doesn't happen and that something happens and brings a kink into the wheel sometimes? Sure, sometimes that does happen. But you're much better off having some things planned out. You know, how does anyone become an Olympic gold medalist? Well, you know what? They started with the little blue ribbon, you know? They started with the, yay, you did it, good job. They started with taking their first step, right? I want to encourage you today, pick up with some intention. And for those of you who are people of faith, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit living inside of you, and maybe you do or don't know God or don't think you do, I just want to tell you that God knows you and He was very intentional about it. This is not an evangelistic message, so please don't turn me off. I'm just telling you, He had intention. You were designed with intention. And so it's okay that you have intention. And it's okay that you take steps with intention toward that. And it's okay that you bring your family and your friends with you toward that. Because this is the life you have to live. The greatest place of intention you can have right now, before you just go to sit down and write out all your goals, is hearing the voice of your greatest partner inside with intention. With intention. With intention. Listen, I had some things over the last few months that were bringing tension inside of me. tension, tension. And they were troubling me. And my thought process was, surely this can't be God, because God's not the God who does all this yak. But guess what? Because He was pressing into me so that I could have intention, intention. He was allowing some things to niggle at me so that I would get with Him, so that I could hear, so that that tension could be gone, because now I have the intention of God, knowing what it is he wanted, what it is that he has planned, so I could partner with my greatest voice inside to move forward in some very specific areas with intention, versus moving with all this tension that was not giving me peace. It was actually causing me to be troubled and lose sleep. We are not supposed to lose sleep. We are not supposed to be up all night wondering what the hey. We are supposed to be partnered with this way here so that we can produce fruit in this way here and move forward with that fruit because of the voice that we've partnered with on the inside. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, they're not a myth, and they're not playing games with you. And they have intentionality all the time. They're always in union. They're never in disagreement. We get to agree with them if we will listen to them. Now listen, this is what you do. Let's say you have all this tension happening in your mind, and maybe nobody knows. You could be a fancy-dancy, you could be a very professional person out in the workforce with making 6 figures, and nobody knows that you have all these pieces happening inside of you. Or you could be a mom, you could be a dad, you could be a construction worker, you could be the cashier or the Dairy Queen. It does not matter. You have purpose, you have significance. No matter what it is you're doing and who you are and what you bring to the table, it's important. You could be a caregiver, you could be a social worker, you could be a teacher, you could be a student, you could just be a kid. Listen, there's intentionality for your life, but the greatest place to know what it is for you to be doing is for you to get with this one. So this is what you do. If you can do this with me right now, a short little exercise won't take any time. Once you close your eyes, I want you to think, and I want you to see around you thousands of people around you. I want you to see 1,000 people around you and how they're all vying for your attention. They're all vying for your attention. They're grabbing at you and they're vying for your attention. And they're all talking. They're all talking at one time. And they're all loud. And you're, whoa, overwhelmed with all the loudness. But there's one voice right here. There's one person standing right here. Right here. In the midst of all these, there's one right here. And you know this person holds the key. This person has the key. This person knows exactly what it is that I need to be doing. This person has the strategy. This person has the key for my life. What would you do? You do this. In the midst of every voice vying for you, I want you to stop and hone in and go, get your ear this close to that person, the person of the greatest person who lives inside of you, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, the three inside you, the one, and listen. You know how sometimes you can literally tune everything out to hear one thing? That's what you do. Tune everything out. And listen, with intention. With intention. And listen, in this place, I'm not saying bring all your trouble. I'm not saying bring all your problems. I'm not saying do any talking at all. I'm saying just listen. You can spend 5 minutes listening during the day. At night, when you lay down at sleep, before you go to sleep, go, here I am, I'm listening. Before you go to sleep, say, God, all this is happening, but I just want you to know, here I am. I just want to receive from you. Take a deep breath, and if you can, go to sleep with the intention to receive, to receive what his thought is, to receive what's he saying. He could give you a strategy to make $1 gazillion, or he could give you the strategy for the greatest peace that you could ever have, and it will never leave you. He could also impart to you love in a way you've never known before. and it will change your life so radically that it will never leave you. He could bring his presence in a way to where you know that 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 you know he truly has never left you, and he truly has never forsaken you, and he truly will never leave you, and he truly will never forsake you. He can do that. Position yourself to receive. Position yourself to hear. As far as believing and trusting and have faith and all those things, listen, they'll come. They'll come. But let it start with the intention of listening. Let it start with the intention of hearing the voice of the greatest one who lives inside. The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, the three, they abide inside of you. They paid the price. If you'll listen, take all this tension and just say nope, and listen for the voice. That voice of that one, with thousands vying for your attention, with thousands looking to you with need, and some of those needs are important, but with all the voices and all the opinions and all the thoughts and all the ideas, there's one right here, he's right here. Go, here I am. I'm listening for this voice. Tune everything out and hear. And you know, I've never had biological children, okay? I've never had little bitty kids other than the Contreras family, who precious to me. They're like my grandkids, and Dan and Amber, they're my kids. I don't know if y'all know them or anything, but anyway, sorry, just missing them. They used to live down the street from us, and I'm just remembering how my husband would tell me, and it's in conjunction with them, my husband would tell me, yeah, when Chelsea and Chase were kids, he would vacuum in the room with them while they're sleeping. He wanted them to get accustomed to being able to sleep without anything to help them sleep. He did not want them to be one of these kids that wakes up every time something moves, right? And I realized in his own way, he was letting them learn how to tune out and just rest. So they can sleep through a freight train. I don't know whether that's good or bad, but they do wake up now and go to work. I'm just saying. And that's one little analogy. The other analogy is this. You know how you can tune out your kids when they're all running around and you've got to get something done, and you just got to tune things out. I'm not saying you ignore your kids. Come on, don't yell at me later. Don't PM me with all your junk. I'm just saying, you know how sometimes you have to tune things out so you can hear, so you can think clearly? This is what you need to do. We've got 6 months left of this year, and there's no time with God. You know, he's not time sensitive. We can bend heaven, man. We can bend time, and joy can catapult us where we need to go and do what we need to do. But before all of that, we need to hear the greatest voice who lives inside of us. We got the three living in the one. So take all the tension and put it to the side and listen with intention to the voice that abides. And in that place, you're going to hear and you're going to receive. Now, this is my warning in this. You're going to hear and you're going to receive. And let's say you have a specific issue you're bringing before this one, because you need to know. After you get your answer, after you get your strategy, after you get that strength and that comfort that comes, that changes your life forever, stay tuned in. Don't go, oh, I'm good now, and go about your business. No. Let the practice that took you to a place where you could hear remain in you, so that he's not just near. He's inside speaking. always right here. And then when the pieces come, you will be in peace. Because pieces are going to come, guys. Things happen. And in the midst of things happening, in the midst of life hitting, in the midst of God showing us how to turn a cycle of death into a cycle of life, because you know the enemy likes to take cycles of life and turn them into cycles of death. We get to reverse all that, Jack, and we get to move, and we can only do it here. Now, that does not mean that you don't go to work. It does not mean you don't feed your children. It doesn't mean you don't feed yourself. It doesn't mean you go fast for 100 days, necessarily. It means that you just tune in, that you listen on purpose. Because when you can listen on purpose and receive on purpose, it changes everything on purpose. And then we find our purpose. And then it's not about that person's opinion. It's not about that other person's opinion. It's not even about your opinion. No. You found the opinion, and you become one with this opinion. And then other things kind of fall in place, especially if you're working with people who want this opinion above all opinions. And then if you're in a place where people don't want that opinion, they don't want this opinion, guess what? You have the intentionality of God's opinion to combat the tension of other people's opinions. And you can do it with peace instead of pieces. I hope this helped you today. I bless you today. I bless you, 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 I bless you. Remember, tension is not your inheritance, but if you have tension, let it lead you with intention into true inheritance, which is first hearing the voice of the one who lives inside you, and then finding out what it is he wants with you and in you to pour through you, that a world will taste and see and know that he is the Lord God Almighty, and that there's none like him, because he's good and he's kind and he's peace in the midst of the pieces. I bless you today. This is Donna Reiners, New Day with Donna Mae, Friday Fellowship. See you on Monday, 9 o'clock right here. Until soon. Bye.